陳列何度も言いましたよね。
すいません。
はい、謝るだけ。
I was thinking about something just now that I wanted to share. I want to say it before I forget. It's basically, how do you know if you're properly becoming the person that you want to be, or properly sharing who you are or who you think you are or who you want to be with others, basically. Like if you're a certain way that you used to be or still are, or you've transitioned into being a different way, how do you properly even convey that? How do you actually convey who you are without being overbearing or overreaching, and just naturally? And I've often seen people say, like, the people who are outgoing and who are whatever the opposite of shy is, they're the ones who are good at showing themselves to others, where other people who are quote unquote quiet or shy aren't. And it's like, how do you show someone that you're quiet? How do you do that? Like, how do you show someone you're shy? By being shy. How do you show someone you're outgoing? By being outgoing, right? But I guess it's difficult to explain. And it's like, if someone has preconceived notions about you already, based on maybe they've had an encounter with you already and they feel like you're still that way, maybe you're working on yourself or learning how to change. Like, how do you show them that if they're just not willing to see it or willing to have another encounter with you or anything? Or I'm trying to think of an example. Yeah, I was just about to go turn that off and it stopped. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna use a character from a... You okay? Autofocus? Okay, it's because of the lighting. I'm gonna use a character from a movie because that's how we're able to explain things to each other, right? Use a broad example that we'd all know. That's why a lot of times when someone wants to compare something to something else, they use a celebrity or some type of famous book or whatever, because that's what we all know. So something about the gotta stretch out the face muscles, because something about the scent of peppermint makes me think of my father, makes me think of my youth, remembering a simpler time when all I cared about was the 3 C's: Christmas candy cartoons. That was my life. That was all I cared about. That was all that mattered. I went to school, was a good girl, well-mannered, just so that I would get presents on Christmas, just so that my parents would let me buy candy. And I just loved my cartoons every day. Anyway, the character of Principal Trenchbull from Matilda was horrible, evil. She's really an extreme example, but she was really mean and just terrible. And it's hard to think of her redeeming herself, but that's why I'm using her as an example, because the point I'm making is, would anyone even be willing to give her a second chance, to hear her out, to... If she was just behaving differently, all of a sudden treating the students well, cleaning up the school, changing the way she looked, just trying to better her, would anybody take notice? Would anybody care? Would they be like, yeah, she's pretending, or maybe she's doing this right now, but deep down we all know she's all trenchable. We're never gonna forget what she did to that kid, making him eat that cake. Like, she's that. Like, how do you show people you've changed? How do you do that? Well, it's what I said, you change your appearance, you change your mannerism, you change your behavior, you change your mindset, right? With Trenchbull, changing the school, changing the way she looked, the way she talked, the way she behaved, the way she would treat a child, the way she would treat a student. That's how you let people know. But how would they really know? How will they know you're not pretending? How will they know you're not faking it? How are you able to be genuine in such a time like now when everything is so phony? So phony. Because of the phones, everything is phony. And being phony is what's cool. Like, people don't care about you being cheesy anymore. They gravitate to it. I was walking down the street one day this year in a sexy dress. And a man approached me, I guess assuming that because I was wearing a sexy dress, that meant I was a sexy person. And when I told him that I didn't engage in that behavior, he was like, "What? No. Everyone's out here sinning." That was what he said. Everyone's out here sinning. I wasn't aware that that was a sin, but the way he said it was almost like he was trying to say, like, people just be doing whatever with strangers. Like, that's normal. And I'm starting to think that people think that it's normal to do that and to be that way and behave that way. And because I don't, I'm considered not normal. I'm considered strange. I'm considered everything bad and weird. And whenever I try to show myself that I am not what people think that I am, based on literally nothing, just based on my existence, people think I'm something. I'm looked at as crazy. I'm looked at as mean. I'm looked at as just everything. I'm looked at as I have an attitude, like, just because I'm standing up for myself, or I may be assertive. But if I was a man behaving that way, I would just be strong-willed, or have a strong personality, or I'm sure of myself, or I'm just a upstanding man if I was a man. But because I'm a woman and I'm sure of myself, people want to tell me about me. People want to tell me, no, you're not like that. That's not who you are. You want this. You just haven't found it yet. You want to be like this. You are this. You're delusional. You're nuts. I can't tell you how many times. It's so frustrating. I'm not gonna cry. Like, people just won't let you be who you are. Like, they just won't allow it. They won't accept it. Like, basically, people say, you're not like me, so you're wrong. You're a wrong thing because you're not what I am. This has nothing to do with VLOGMAS. It was just a thought that I had that I wanted to share.